Download generally refers to transferring data from a computer, often a PC, to a programmable logic controller, or PLC. The reason for this directionality stems from the typical roles of these devices in a control system. The PLC is usually considered the slave device, responsible for executing instructions and controlling physical processes based on the data it receives. The computer, on the other hand, acts as the master device responsible for sending the program, configuration, and other necessary data to the PLC. The computer initiates the transfer, pushing the data down to the PLC for storage and execution. Think of it as loading a program into the PLC memory. The program originates on the computer and is then downloaded to the PLC to make it functional. Upload, conversely, refers to transferring data from the PLC to the computer. This process involves retrieving information from the PLC and sending it back to the computer for various purposes. One common reason for uploading data is troubleshooting. If a system is malfunctioning or behaving unexpectedly, engineers and technicians might need to examine the PLC current program, configuration, and operating data to identify the root cause of the problem. By uploading this information to the computer, they can analyze it in detail, compare it to known good configurations, and pinpoint any errors or inconsistencies. Another reason for uploading data is archiving. Over time, PLC programs and configurations may need to be backed up for safekeeping or to maintain a history of changes. Uploading the data to the computer allows for the creation of these backups, ensuring that the system can be restored to a previous state if necessary. Furthermore, uploading can be used to retrieve data from the PLC for analysis. PLC often collect data from sensors and other devices in the field, such as temperature readings, pressure measurements, and flow rates. This data can be uploaded to the computer and analyzed to identify trends, optimize performance, or generate reports. Finally, uploading may be necessary to update the PLC firmware. Firmware is the software that is embedded within the PLC hardware and controls its basic functions. From time to time, manufacturers release firmware updates to fix bugs, improve performance, or add new features. These updates are typically downloaded from the manufacturer's website and then uploaded to the PLC to install them. Therefore, it's crucial to understand that download means transferring data from the PC to the PLC, and upload means transferring data from the PLC to the PC. These terms describe the direction of data flow in a PLC system and are fundamental to understanding how these systems operate. Consider the analogy of writing information to a flash drive and reading information from a flash drive. When writing, you are downloading information from the computer to the flash drive. When reading, you are uploading information from the flash drive to the computer. The same logic applies to PLC systems, where the PLC functions like the flash drive and the PC functions like the computer. To further clarify the concept, let's explore a few practical scenarios. Firstly, imagine you are a control engineer tasked with designing a new automated system for a manufacturing plant. You would start by creating the PLC program on your computer using specialized software. This program would contain the logic and instructions necessary for the PLC to control the various machines and processes in the plant. Once you have finished writing the program, you would then download it to the PLC, effectively transferring the program from your computer to the PLC memory. The PLC would then execute this program, controlling the manufacturing process according to your design. Secondly, suppose you are a maintenance technician responding to a system malfunction. The production line has suddenly stopped, and you need to determine the cause of the problem. You would first connect your computer to the PLC and then upload the PLC current program and operating data to your computer. By examining this data, you might discover that a sensor has failed, causing the PLC to shut down the production line as a safety precaution. Or, you might find that a setting in the PLC program has been inadvertently changed, causing the system to behave erratically. In either case, uploading the data allows you to diagnose the problem and take corrective action. Thirdly, consider the scenario where you need to upgrade the firmware on a PLC. The manufacturer has released a new firmware version that addresses a security vulnerability and improves the PLC performance. You would first download the firmware update from the manufacturer's website to your computer. Then, you would connect your computer to the PLC and upload the firmware update to the PLC. The PLC would then install the new firmware, replacing the old version. This process ensures that the PLC is running the latest and most secure software. In all of these scenarios, the distinction between download and upload is critical. Understanding the direction of data transfer allows you to effectively manage, maintain, and troubleshoot PLC systems. Incorrectly interpreting these terms could lead to confusion and errors, potentially causing damage to equipment or disrupting operations. Finally, let's consider some common troubleshooting steps related to download and upload processes. If you are having trouble downloading a program to a PLC, firstly, check the communication settings between your computer and the PLC. Make sure that the correct communication port, baud rate, and other settings are configured. Secondly, verify that the PLC is in the correct mode for downloading. Some PLC require you to put them into a special programming mode before you can download a program. Thirdly, ensure that the program you are trying to download is compatible with the PLC. If the program was created for a different PLC model or firmware version, it may not download correctly. If you are having trouble uploading data from a PLC, firstly, check the communication settings just as you would for a download issue. Secondly, verify that the PLC has sufficient memory to store the data you are trying to upload. If the PLC memory is full, you may not be able to upload all of the data. Thirdly, ensure that the data format is compatible between the PLC and the computer. If the data is stored in a proprietary format, you may need to use specialized software to convert it to a readable format on your computer. In conclusion, understanding the concepts of download and upload is essential for anyone working with PLC systems. Download refers to transferring data from a PC to a PLC, while upload refers to transferring data from a PLC to a PC. These terms define the direction of data flow and are fundamental to programming, troubleshooting, and maintaining PLC-based automated systems. Remember the master-slave relationship where the PC downloads to the PLC to be a master to the slave, and the PLC uploads to a PC to have the PC to store data from the slave.